Hi there, and welcome to another episode of Live Your Life by the Numbers. Today, we're going to discuss the personal years 6 through 9. Now, why are these personal years important? And just to recap, in 2022, which is the year in which we're in right now, the universe, the whole world, is living in a 6 personal year. And we see in the 6 personal year, it's home, it's family. We see what's going on with the Ukraine, where people are moving because of stress, war. So there are things that happen in each year, which if we lived by the dictates of what we should be doing each year, we live a more harmonious life because there are things that we should do. There's a time for everything. There's a time to live. There's a time to die. As I've mentioned in the 1 personal year, that's the time to be brave, to go it alone. So in the 1 personal year, the things that we have had to let go of in the 9 personal year kind of flow over and continue for part of the 1 personal year. But the 1 personal year is when we begin to plant those seeds of all of those new activities and hobbies and ideas and dreams that we were thinking of cultivating in prior years that we never got to. It's a year of standing alone, going alone, being brave, forging new territory, but it is not a year to begin to have partnerships, to start a new partnership. The partnerships come in the 2 personal year. We see the seeds beginning to bloom nicely in the 3 personal year. In the 4 personal year, we're digging and we're getting everything down structurally, wonderfully organized. We're budgeting. In the 5 personal year, we're out there promoting and expanding our horizons, as I've mentioned, in the 1 through 5 personal year. And now we come to the 6 personal year. And those people that live in a 6 personal year are living in tune with the harmony of the universal year, which is a 6 universal year. Most of us, however, live between our own personal year and the universal year. So let's move right now and let's go to share the screen and see what we're doing right now and backtrack a little bit so I can show you how to compute it, and we'll move on from there. So let's get into share the screen, which I can't share because, yes, I can. Here we go. Share the screen. And let's start with talking about what's so special about the 6 through 9 personal year. Let's look first how to compute our universal year, because the personal years are computed once you have computed the universal year. So for the year 2022, we are in a 24/6 personal year because 2 plus 4 equals 6. And how do we do that? We can add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2, which equals 6. Or we can have a double-digit personal year, which tells us more about the specific kind of personal year we're going to have by adding the 2 plus 0 together and putting them off to the side, and then adding the 2 plus 2 from 2022, which equals 4, and then adding 20 plus 4, which equals 24. For example, here's my birthday. When we add 12 plus 28, which is my month and day of birth, I would add that to come to my personal year to the universal year 24. And the 12 plus 28 equals 40. When I add those numbers to the 24 personal year, I arrive at the fact that I am in a 64 year. And when I add 6 plus 4, it equals 10. And when I add 1 plus 0, it means I am in a 1 brand new personal year. And as I said, what do we do in a 1 personal year? We launch new ideas. And I am by day vocationally a practicing litigator, trust and estate litigator. My avocation, which I give to you as a gift, is numerology. So in addition to working during the day as a trust and estate litigator, I am a numerologist by hobby. So for you people that are in a 6 personal year, again, you add your month and day of year together, and then you add it to the number 24 for the year 2022. You come to a total and you reduce it to a single number or the double digit number. And if it comes to a 6, you are in a 6 personal year. So if you're in a 6 personal year on a mini level, as I mentioned, you can expect changes in the home and family, especially after the quick pace of the 5 personal year. The 5 personal year is a very, very fast year. You blink, you're in it, and you blink, you're out of it. Now, the 6 personal year requires you to have more responsibility on the domestic level. For example, as parents, you may be caring more for your children or for the homeless or for your parents. And if you're grandparents, you may be caring for your children or your grandchildren. It's a year definitely to patch up past difficulties. Definitely try as best you can to let go of resentments. It's a year that we really have sympathy and concern for others. That's uppermost. And we can see that in the United States, we do have a great deal of sympathy and concern for people in other countries, especially in the Ukraine. If you're working hard, your good works in a 6 personal year will definitely bring you in more money. It is not a year that we usually experience a financial burden, but you will find that you are spending that money on your loved ones, but money is usually not a problem. Some of the good things to do in a 6 personal year is to get married, tie the knot, get engaged. Lots of times it's a year you may find that perfect mate. It's a great year to move your business, your home, engaging in community projects. They're an uppermost. And this year being a 6 universal year, coupled with a 6 personal year, somebody like this is going to really get involved in both community projects, religious projects, as well as their projects at home. It's a great year if you want to redecorate. It's a great deal, a great year to invest in new homes, get a vacation home, take a family vacation, because there is more freedom from financial worries. It's a great time to invest in education, the education of your loved ones, if you want to do that, and for creative projects. The cons, well, there are a few of them. Try to mind your own business as best you can. Try to cut down on fault finding, picking on the faults of others. Being self-righteous and overly critical will definitely put an end to a very good relationship. This is the year to remember that nobody likes to be around a person that constantly criticizes them. So if you reduce your ability to criticize, you will find that your friendships blossom. Being opinionated and bragging also do not help you. Really, it's a year to be more concerned with the other. If your marriage is in trouble and really negative and it's just not going anywhere, you can expect it to split. It would be a year to splitting of partnerships, splitting of marriages. Sometimes if it just gets to be too much, we can see that it's a year where even very close friendships that are of a long-standing nature also split. Now, if you add your month and day of birth plus the year 24, and you reduce it to a single digit, and you find that you are in a 7 personal year, this is a very unique and different year. It's a year, if you're spiritual, to get involved in high spirituality. It might be that year you want to be alone more. You will find yourself wanting to be, alone, out of the beaten path more. It's a year of rest and retreat from the prior years. It's definitely a great year to take that overseas trip really far, to go over water, to visit some foreign country near water, go to the beach, enjoy the beach, read that book that you've never gotten a chance to go to. I'll climb the China Wall, go to an overseas country, meditate a lot. This is the year, the 7 year, where people make the most blunders. And the reason they make it is that they push projects when it's time to lay back and rest, retreat, and regroup. It is not the year to drive yourself crazy and to expand your business everywhere you can think of. The energy to do this just is not there. The energy is in your 1 year. The energy is in your 3 year. The energy is in your 5 year, definitely. The energy might be somewhat in the 6 personal year, but it is definitely, the tide is definitely out in your 7 year when it comes to expansion. The tide may be in on another year, but not that year. And so that's what people do. They push too much in the 7 year and they don't rest and retreat and think, keep a journal, think about how you may want to expand. It's definitely a year for study, go to school, take that class on digital social media on how you may want to expand your business, but it is not the year to do it. It is a year to definitely go with the flow. Just put your oars in the water and let the boat, flow downstream. If you go against the tide, you're going to feel stress because you're rowing against the current of your universal year. It is not your year to do that. So your body could break down. You can find yourself very tired or even getting sick from overwork. The body and the mind and the soul needs to rest and retreat. And this is just 1 year. Doesn't mean you can't go to work. It doesn't mean you can't work hard if, the work is coming in, but it is just not a year to overdo it. Mistakes are made when you're pushing materialism. So, it is not a time to buy expensive things either. But if you're a woman, this is unusual. If you're a woman very often and you meet somebody who, when you're in your 7 personal year and it clicks, and that individual is not in their 9 personal year, because I'm going to get to that. You don't begin things in your 9 personal year. But if you're in your 7 personal year, or you met them in your 6 or your 5, very frequently, if we get engaged in a 9 personal year, there is something that's substantial that comes with the relationship. Either it's a beautiful large diamond or a piece of jewelry to your liking, or the person that you are engaged to is financially successful and is abundant, and it brings abundance into your life. So that is one of the pluses that I did not discuss with the pluses. So that if you take it slow, there are things that, are going to come your way. It's slow down and expect karmic repercussions. Remember, karma means to return. What goes around comes around. And the things that you do well, you may find yourself being rewarded for. Money may come into your life from past debts that are owed you. But if you have been living a sloppy life, you may find that you owe money. You may find that, there are delays in your love life, that your health is giving you a problem. There are unforeseen obstacles, and this is all by not slowing down. That is why I say push nothing beyond the day-to-day activities that you have. Rest and reflect from the past. Give your soul a good vacation. You can expect a lot of inner growth if you are alone and taking classes on improvement. This is good. As I mentioned, the meditative arts and going to school, learning anything is always terrific. You may feel a little boxed in at times because your hobbies are not going your way, or things are just not moving at a fast pace. If this happens, please understand, it's normal. It's normal. Just lay back and go to a higher metaphysical plane. Read Think and Grow Rich. Read some of these books on meditation and the value of planting seeds of productivity and love and forgiveness and tenderness in your higher mind, and you will find yourself feeling better. Close friends and relatives and business associates, I don't know why they tend to do strange things in a 7-year. It's a year to not get too involved in being angry. So try to think about forgiveness a little bit more and improve yourself. As I mentioned, the 7-year, if you're involved in spirituality, it does bring spiritual protection. Marriages commenced in the 7-year, or even engagements commenced in the 7-year, bring a special gift or the love of a lifetime. And the 7-year is great for going into therapy if you want to either find a therapist online or visit the therapist now that the pandemic is slowing down. So that's really wonderful. Take that long trip to a long place. And it is a mental year besides a spiritual year. It's time to plan for the future. So doing research in anything you want to study or to improve your life is a great thing to do. Some more cons. Don't over speculate. Avoid speculation. Read between the lines. Avoid beginning new projects, new businesses that are going to require you to stress your physical stamina, because your physical stamina and your financial investments may not be up to spin in a 7-year. The tide is out. The tide's not coming in until your 8-year. So don't trust your luck, because your luck isn't in either. Watch illegal activities because of karma. It will bounce right back to you. So now we're going to talk about the 8 personal year. And as you can see, the tide is in. It's time to execute those new business plans, those decisions, and all those new ideas that you were thinking about the year before. In the 7th year, when I said your tide was out, it's a time to reap what you've been sowing. It's a time to gain what you've earned. Try to remain tactful and diplomatic, because usually we feel stronger in the 8th personal year, and we sound stronger in the 8th personal year as well. And we don't want to overdo it and think that we're really being very diplomatic and tactful, and someone else thinks we're being incredibly pushy. So your energy is going to grow during the 8th personal year as it goes forward. And you can put a lot of hard work to good use. Use good judgment no matter what you do. Don't sign on the dotted line immediately if you have to consult with an attorney when you're signing any papers. Please do that, because it's a year of improvement with your finances, with your business, and with your career. Definitely a year of advancement. Believe it or not, even in the pandemic, people had an 8 personal year. I certainly did. In the pandemic, I had an 8 and a 9 personal year, and I advanced. I made very good use of my time by putting those 4 books that I have up there on Amazon. I put them up. 3 books I wrote in the pandemic, and 1 I republished. And you'll find them on Amazon. My first book is Live Your Life by the Numbers, Your Guide to Numerology. I wrote a wonderful 2nd volume. I improved the first that I wrote in 1991, and I wrote a 2nd volume, Live Your Life by the Numbers, Volume 2. I wrote a great book on children for all you parents and teachers out there and aunts and uncles. It's called Raise Your Kids by the Numbers, Your Child's Guide to Numerology. And that is because when children are young, they are vibrating to sometimes the negative, but the raw vibration of the numbers. They're still in development for many years, and parents worry, family members worry. And if you read that book, you won't worry anymore. My 4th book is My Love of Double Digits. While most numerologists will teach you to reduce down to a single digit, the difference in people that have the same life path and are in the same year can differ because of the number that we reduce, the double-digit number that we reduce at any given time. So my book on numerology, Power Numbers, Your Guide to the Power of the Double-Digit Numbers, that is up there on Amazon, is a great study of the meaning of the double-digit numbers, which you will notice I give you the double digit, the 2 numbers, before we reduce it to a single digit. So you will find that those 4 books are wonderful. And as I say, if you like this show and you'd like more and you'd like to subscribe, please hit subscribe and send me a little message. And I'd be very, very grateful if you review my books, buy my books, study them, tell me what you like about them, give me a review. That also would be very, very appreciative. So going back now to the 8th personal year, it is the year of right action to bring, any improvement into your business, your finances, your career. As I mentioned, it is definitely a year of material gain and advancement. Usually your finances will grow. Mine did. It's great for real estate transactions or transactions with partnerships. Expanding that business, it is definitely in. You'll be paying top dollar for the things that you purchase, but also there will be it should be a large improvement in sales, whether online or not online, even in your business, in any kind of business. You can see refunds in the 8 personal year because you've taken better tax write-offs, and people that owe you money will often pay it back in an 8 personal year, and sometimes in a 7 personal year also. It's time to get your finances in good order in an 8 personal year. Your magnetism is very high also in an 8 personal year. It's great to get up and go. People will find you very, very attractive. You'll walk into a room and people will just turn and look at you and say, wow, who's that person? In another show, I'm going to show you what to wear, what your best colors are for every one of the numbers, so you can combine these colors and see what your lucky colors are and what your lucky numbers are. The 8 year begins slowly, but it does pick up as the year goes by. So you want to avoid in the 8 year, which is a great business year, to analyze everything and don't make business decisions based on emotion. If you're having a bad emotion because your energy is high, your magnetism is high, and your emotional responses could be a little out of whack. So be careful, be more realistic, and make your decisions balanced. Go into meditation or call a friend. Don't jump at decisions. Socializing will definitely bring you benefits. You will meet the right people that you're supposed to meet in an 8 personal year. It's coming. So what are the pluses in an 8 personal year? Definitely go after what you want. Your tide is in to reap, to sign business deals. Business agreements can be signed. It's a great year to seek professional advice if you're in doubt. The 8 year is made up of 2 4s. And as I've mentioned with the 4s, the 4 is great for foundations, and 4 plus 4 equals 8. So if you've lived well, your karma is being returned well because you've put a very good foundation underneath your business. The 8 is really the year that completes the cycle. Most people think it's the 9 year. No, the 9 year is the year of completion. And when I say the 8 year completes the cycle, you complete the cycle in and around November and December of your 8 personal year. During those 2 months, it is not good to begin a new business, because in the 9 year, you're cleansing. Things are going to go out of your life in the 9 year because it's the year of cleansing or ending. And we see really endings in the 9 year. So keep your transactions in your 8 year legal and above board. Maybe you're too involved in your businesses in the 8 personal year, so that romance may be ambivalent, or you may be a bit unemotional in the 8 personal year because you're working too hard to promote your business. So that is not unusual. But women or people that marry in the 8 year, it's very, very good for spiritual protection on the financial level. As I mentioned, your plans that you wanted to launch in the 7 year, you should launch in the 8 year. The 8 year is great for taking those calculated risks. The latter part of the year, when I say that the cycle really is beginning to end in that November and December of your 8 personal year, you could see relationships rupture. You could see a change of home due to rupture in an 8 personal year. I would say don't be afraid towards the end of the 8 personal year, to let go of things that no longer serve you. because that is what you're supposed to be doing in the 9 personal year. It's the cleanse and getting into the habit of letting go the things that no longer work for you are very good. Don't overestimate your abilities in an 8 personal year. Don't get overly greedy, because that could lead to loss in the 9 personal year, which is just around the corner. Be mindful, as I mentioned, that in November, there's usually a sign, November and December, of what you may lose in the 9 personal year. If you don't have a rupture in November of your 8 personal year, be happy. Don't throw a fit. Just be very aware. Have your eyes completely open in the 8 year, because you will be letting go of certain things, either because you have no choice or because things let go of you. And that's probably where we're cleansing, and we feel sometimes a year of sadness in the 9 personal year. It could be business relationships. Your partner wants to go off on their own, or it could be personal friendships. Try to avoid contract disputes in an 8 personal year, because it could lead to litigation in the 9 year. That's very costly. Going into the 1 year and the 2 year, business litigation can cost a lot of money. As I mentioned, try not to hold on to the past. If the past is asking you to let go, and let the universe bring to you the kind of cleansing that you will need in the 9 personal year. Now, the 9 personal year is a year of endings and completions pertaining to people, places, jobs, things, relationships that no longer serve you, that are no longer useful, basically, or that fail to bring any kind of meaning into your life. It's a time to show love and wisdom and understanding towards others. It's a year to be a big brother to somebody and to show brotherly love and sisterly love. You may be called upon to help somebody that needs help. That is very good karma, that you're being asked to help somebody. I often think of the Ukraine and people in Poland inviting all those people from Ukraine into their homes, and people in the United States helping the Ukrainians and the needy. That's the kind of thing you should do. Clean out your closets in a 9 year and donate all those things that are creating clutter. Get rid of them. Give your things away to people that could use them. There may be sickness in the family or sickness with some of your friends or loved ones. So, definitely go out of your way for others. Thoughts and entertaining the ending of relationships or a desire to change will come up. That is not unusual. It's time to think about that. Sometimes we feel lonely because children are leaving the nest. The kids are growing off. They're going off to college, or it's even that summer for the first time you're sending that child to sleepaway camp, or your kid is going off to private school or something, or family members are moving to the other side of the United States or to another state. And suddenly, your best friend is moving off into another area. You're going to, miss them. Just remember, there's still Zoom and there's still Skype, and you can still talk to them on the phone every day. So, but there will be a feeling at times of loneliness. Watch exhaustion. Again, like the 7 year, don't overdo it. Watch what you're doing. Watch your health. Get proper rest. Don't push your body to exhaustion. The year will be as good or as bad as you make it. Try not to crap about your life, this and that, the other thing. It's a year where we can really become very irritable over things because we want sudden change. And all you have to do is sit down and write a list of the things that you want to change, things that you can change now. If you can get rid of the clutter and you can donate and give your things away, yes, that's a good thing to do. Okay, it is not a year to go out and buy new. If you buy new because something breaks in a 9 personal year, there is more of a tendency to buy the lemon. I certainly did, gosh, in the 70s or in the 60s. I bought a lemon. I bought a beautiful blue car in a 9 personal year, and I drove it out of the showroom, and there was water coming all over the floor. The air conditioner, brand new car, the air conditioner was broken. I had to drive the car right back to the place and say, take your car back. Oh, it is better to fix things. So if your dishwasher breaks, call in a repairman. It'll be less expensive to call in a repairman to fix the car and the bicycle and your dishwasher and your washing machine than it will be to buy new, because very often we buy a lemon. It is not a year to really feel that you have that much time to go out and have a good time, because you may not feel like it. You may feel like just going out to dinner with a friend. And if that's what you feel like doing, that's what you should do. Keep your eye on your finances. It is not the year to go out and buy the mansion. The year to buy the mansion will be sometime during the 1 year to go it alone and be very brave, but don't buy it in the 9 year. However, as you'll see in another section, if you sell anything in the 9 year, you can make those extra bucks. So if you really want to clear out your closets and put everything up on eBay, or finally sell that hat that you couldn't give away because it's a handmade hat, you would be surprised what kind of income you can bring to sell things. Homes sold in a 9 personal year bring really a nice piece of change, top dollar. Money comes in a 9 year often and goes out just as fast if you have obligations. So expect that. As I mentioned, the refrigerator, things will break in the 9 year, so try to fix them. I already mentioned buying something in the 9 year is a great way to find yourself with a lemon. So try to fix whatever you have. But it's a great year to complete that manuscript that's been hanging around. Polish off those poems you've been writing in your anthology and put that book, get prepared. Finish whatever you're doing. If it's the play, the book, the poetry, whatever you're working on, your thesis, finish getting your master's degree, a great way to finish your bachelor's degree. It's a finishing year. And when you finish in a 9 year, you're usually doing the right thing. It's a year on the pluses of culmination. If you finish things well, expect recognition, expect fame, expect to get awards from school. Investigate all forms of new employment and things to get involved in. It is the year to continue your education. That is one thing you are allowed to do in the 9 year. You're allowed to engage in spiritual studies. You're allowed to continue your education. You're allowed. Metaphysics is great in a 9 year. Investigating all forms of higher mind are great in the 9 year. So there are things that you could do. All forms of taking refresher courses. That trip overseas is great. Get your body checked in a 9 year, because the body is tired from the past 8 years. So make sure that you continue to get your teeth checked, your body checked. As I mentioned, all kinds of sales in the 9-year bring in nice money. Don't speculate. The 9-year is not a good year to speculate. And understand that September of each one of the universal years and the personal years is the same as the personal year. So September of a 9 personal year is your 9 personal month. And you will have 3 days, the 9th, the 18th, and the 27th. Those are 9 days. So try to stay balanced. If those days are a little tiresome, expect it. But if you find that you finish something and eureka, I finished it on that day, you know you did the right thing. If you find yourself in the limelight with recognition because you finished something in the 9-year or you got an award, well, that comes too, because what goes around comes around. Some cons, some negatives in the 9 personal year, you may feel really overburdened. You may feel sad over losses, sometimes a sense of suffering. You may find that someone close to you passes. Watch your emotions, but understand that your emotions, emotional cleansing is part of the cycle of the 9-year. People leave your life, and sometimes it is part of the cosmic plan, and you can't do anything about it but accept and send them off with love, whether they physically leave you or they leave you also through death. Avoid binding commitments in the 9-year. You don't want to start a binding relationship and commitment in the 9-year. The 9-year is the year we're cleansing from the 8-year and the 7-year, the 6-year, and all the things that have come in and added up in the 1 through 8-year. We do not begin things in the 9-year. If we begin things in the 9-year, they usually fall apart sometime in the 1 year and definitely by June of the 3 personal year. So romance could show up, but if it's your 9 personal year, it just isn't going to be long lasting, or it may not be long lasting. So don't put all your eggs in that basket. Watch out, as I mentioned before, about sickness. Sickness is possible in the 9 personal year, and that is because we might have pushed our bodies during the first 1 through 8-year. So 8 years, plural. So that's it for what to expect in the 6 through the 9 personal years. I hope you like this show. I really, really do appreciate the fact that I have this opportunity in the 1 personal year to launch the show. I am not doing readings, so if anybody tells you that they've gotten a reading from Sylvia on Live Your Life by the Numbers, they have not. So be careful for fraud. I am an attorney, so I'm going to warn you all that, don't believe everything that you hear if it's coming from me. My show is up there for you. I really welcome, and I look forward to all of your comments, both on my show. If you have any suggestions, I love to do readings about the celebrities. So if you have anybody that you'd like me to read online for you, please let me know. I'm going to be doing many, many shows. I welcome your reviews because that's the way this show is going to grow. I welcome any reviews you have on how I can grow the show. Please buy my books or review them and tell me what you think. They're up there on Amazon. And remember, don't die with the music in you. Take the opportunity during these years to live by the numbers, to study the numbers in your name and your loved ones. There's a lot that you can learn about your loved ones, about your sweetheart, about your spouse, about what to do by living by the numbers. it's just a wonderful study. And, it doesn't take much. You're just adding a few numbers and subtracting a few numbers, and you'll be shocked on how accurate living your life by the numbers is. So remember that we're all born with a heroic destiny, with a heroic project in us. This might be one of mine to do for you. So remember that today is a very special day. It's more special than you think and precious than you think. So please don't squander it. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next show. Bye for now.